to go into detail about that event and the process behind it and your experiences going into this space?
Yeah, for sure. I'll give some context. I had an event for my brand, 741. I'm also a brand partner at Oakley. The house was Jim Janner's house. He's actually the creator or the son of the owner of Oakley. So he, as a family friend, he kind of opened up the festivities for us. And he allowed us to do an activity in this space. We had a pop-up talking about culture, talking about the future of independency, creative control, etc. A bunch of different people that were just there to just talk about positivity in the community. And it just seemed like, somebody didn't want that to happen.
Following up on that, you've been so big with using your voice. What would you say to this generation that's trying to find theirs?
Continue to speak out. There's a lot of stuff going on in our world beyond basketball, beyond sports. Don't be afraid. Don't be discouraged. I think, we're kind of used to playing the game or following, there's a fear associated to, kind of playing a game or I don't know how to describe it, but, don't be afraid to create a new path and be who you're destined to be.
Jaylen, what happened? You got into a conversation with an officer. They said you didn't have a permit. You felt like you're being targeted.
That was not true. We didn't need a permit because the owner of the house, that was his space. We were family friends. He opened up this festivities to us, so we didn't have to. We never applied for one. So I think they told the media, the statement they put out, someone sent to me said that we applied and it was denied. There was no permit ever applied for. Jim Janner, he's the creator of Oakley. You know what I mean? I'm a brand partner at Oakley. They opened up their house to me. I didn't have to pay for the house or anything. They just opened it up. I had to pay for the build out, but it was hundreds of thousands of dollars wasted for an event that was supposed to be positive. But I'm offended by, Beverly Hills, by the statement they put out, like we applied for something and didn't get it, and we did it anyway, like we were insubordinate. I know how to follow the rules. I'm smart enough to follow the guidelines. It just seemed like somebody, didn't want, whatever we had going on to go on. Because out of everybody that was doing something, it seemed like I was the only one to get shut down. So you tell me how I should feel about it.
Do you feel like you're being stereotyped or typecast? Do you feel like it was racism?
All I'm going to say is that everybody else that did something to activation, there seemed to be no issues. It was 7 p.m. It wasn't 10 p.m. It wasn't 11 p.m. It wasn't 12 p.m. 7 p.m. in a day. And we're doing a panel. We're doing stuff that's positive. There was nobody that was inconvenienced. It wasn't blocking traffic. It's All-Star Weekend. It's Saturday night. And it's 7 p.m. Like, what are we talking about? And the city that had an ordinance to shut us down. No matter what the owner of the house said, no matter what we tried to reason with, it was no working with. They didn't try to work with us. They didn't try to have a conversation. They came right in and shut everything down. So the statement they put out is completely false. I stand by that. My team operated with the utmost respect to the neighbors and everybody, and they kind of were harassed to some degree. So, people can make of it what they want. I did everything that I could do from my end to make sure that everything went smooth. There was no violence, and they chose to All-Star Weekend on a Saturday night, make an example out of. I guess I don't know what's going on, but I didn't like the way that ended.
What would you like for the city to do in order to correct this and not have this happen for the future?
I don't know. I don't know what can be done. Like, from what I've heard from other people, like, they've had similar experiences in Beverly Hills. I have no problem with Beverly Hills. I've never had an issue with Beverly Hills. This is my first time. You know what I mean? I'm a brand partner at Oakley. It's a $70 million house that we're staying at, by the way. And it's a 7 p.m. on a Saturday All-Star Weekend. Like, who are we bothering? Like, I didn't understand that. It just, you guys tell me how I should feel about that, because it didn't seem like anybody else had a problem in Beverly Hills but me.
How much was dampen your All-Star Weekend?
It was hundreds of thousands of dollars lost down the toilet. A lot of work that got put into this, a lot of effort got put into this. So I'm more offended for my team, because they did a lot of work to do an activation for my brand, 741. We partnered with Oakley. It's a beautiful home, $70 million house. He opened it up to us, didn't charge us anything. We just had to pay for the build out, and it was hundreds of thousands of dollars wasted. So it leaves a bad taste in my mouth here in LA for the All-Star Weekend. It's super distracting for y'all to even have to ask me questions about this. Especially, we should be here talking about basketball, but, yesterday wasn't great.
Should the city reimburse for any of these costs?
I mean, that would be nice, but how things like this go. I don't know what the proper protocol or whatever I should do next. The owner seemed like he was pretty upset. He wants to file a lawsuit because it's his house. They've done multiple events there, and there's never been an issue. He's done 4 or 5 events, even that week, he said, and it was never an issue. So it seems like, I don't know, from the information that I've gathered from my team, it just seemed like, it's only one conclusion you can make.
How difficult is some of these hurdles? You've talked about them in businesses and, a lot of the things that you've tried to pursue. You face these hurdles, you face kind of some of these institutional roadblocks. How difficult has those things made for you to accomplish what you want to, like this weekend specifically?
This weekend is just, it's first time All-Star starter, first time, getting to have that experience, and I'm here in LA with my family and friends to have a good time and things like that. We had some informational stuff that was going on. We partnered with 2K. We had some great partners. Oakley is a great brand partner, so we were excited about the whole activation and the whole weekend. Everything was beautifully set up, so it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And I don't think Beverly Hills, the BPHD, made the right call there. The statement they put out was not accurate. You know what I mean? We did not file for a permit because the owner of the house said we didn't need one. He said we're guests of him, and if you're a guest of him, you don't need to file for one. He told us we were fine. He's done events there before, and this was still the result. It seemed like somebody just made a phone call and wanted to shut it down.